uh, uh. Shalom to the Mashpakar coming in the chat. Yo. Come on. Hey. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey. Yes, sir. Hey, fella, we finna put it down today. Shalom, Sister Naomi. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, let the brother say, they say calm, that mean y'all. Yes, sir. We're doing an open panel today, open topic. Anything that's weighing on y'all heart today, that's what we gonna talk about. Hey fam, I got a video for y'all I want y'all to see. We can talk about that as well. Shalom, Mashpakar. Shalom. Yo. Hey.
It is good to be back in Pennsylvania. It is good to be back in Pittsburgh. There are a lot of Americans who are still struggling out there. They're still striving to make life better for themselves, for their families, and for their kids. And let's face it, as a country, we've been through a lot these last few years. We had a historic pandemic wreaking havoc on communities and businesses. Disruptions from the pandemic then caused prices to spike, and that put a strain on family budgets. And in many ways, it's felt like the aspirations of working people have taken a back seat to the priorities of the rich and the powerful. So I get it, why people are looking to shake things up. I mean, I am the hopey changey guy. So I understand people feeling frustrated and feeling we can do better. What I cannot understand is why anybody would think that Donald Trump will shake things up in a way that is good for you, Pennsylvania. I don't understand that.
Okay, this is his full speech. I'm finna let it play. And this is for fair use, and then we could discuss this right here or whatever other topic that may be weighing on y'all heart. Don't feel like we boxed into one thing, but I'm gonna go ahead and let this play, and then we could discuss it.
Because there is absolutely no evidence that this man thinks about anybody but himself. I've said it before. Donald Trump is a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. You've got the tweets in all caps, the ranting and the raving about crazy conspiracy theories. You got the 2-hour speeches, word salad, just, it's like Fidel Castro, just on and on. Constant attempts to sell you stuff. Who does that? Selling you gold sneakers and a $100,000 watch and most recently a Trump Bible. He wants you to buy the Word of God, Donald Trump edition. Got his name right there next to Matthew and Luke. I mean, you could not make this stuff up. Do not boo. Vote. They can't hear your boos, but they can hear your votes. Most of all, Donald Trump wants us to think that this country is hopelessly divided between us and them, between the quote-unquote real Americans who support him and the outsiders who don't. Because having people divided and angry, he figures boosts his chances of being elected. And he doesn't care who gets hurt.
All right. So, that's what Obama had to tell us. He had more to say, fam. I want to say again, shalom to the sister Naomi for coming in. But that's what Obama had to say to us. What say you, family? What say you? What say you about this here situation here? Now, as y'all see, Obama's net worth. Obama net worth. Michelle Obama's career as a lawyer and author also contributes to their combined net worth. Obama's net worth is estimated to be around 70 million. This wealth comes from a combination of his presidential salary, book deals, speaking engagements, and lucrative production. I guess they say deal with it. So y'all see that? Obama's net worth is $70 million. All right? Let's let the rest of it play. Remember, again, this is fair use, fair use. I'm going to take this off. All right, let me remove the comments. And then I'm finna go ahead and let it play some more. That's Obama's net worth. All right? And if you married, your net worth go inside of your house. Also, and I'll leave the channel under here to the video. Thank you. Please listen.
Kamala already worked with Joe Biden to take on the drug companies and bring down the cost of insulin and hearing aids and more than 50 prescription drugs. And as president, she will never stop working to limit out-of-pocket costs and protect your care. That's who Kamala is. She's got a track record of doing it. And here's a big one. Instead of giving more tax breaks to billionaires and raising prices on working families, Kamala will give a tax cut to 100 million middle class and working people here in America. So, if you're a new parent, you could qualify for a $6,000 tax credit during the first year of your child's life. Because I don't have to tell a lot of you, raising kids is hard. And she wants to make it easier to afford stuff like a crib or a car seat or diapers.
All right. Diapers. How you What you need with diapers if the baby is getting murdered inside the clinic?
I remember buying diapers. I remember the first time I went in the store right after Malia was born. I was like, what? That's how much diapers cost? I remember changing diapers. You think Donald Trump ever changed a diaper?
All right. Has Donald Trump ever changed it? Has the mother that aborted their baby ever changed the diaper of the baby that they aborted?
Yeah. That is not what real strength is. It never has been. Real strength is about working hard and carrying a heavy load without complaining. Real strength is about taking responsibility for your actions and telling the truth even when it's inconvenient. Real strength is about helping people who need it and standing up for those who can't always stand up for themselves. That is what we should want for our daughters and for our sons, and that is what I want to see in a president of the United States of America. And the good news is that you have candidates to vote for in this election that demonstrate that kind of character, who know what real strength looks like, who will set a good example and do the right thing and leave this country better than they found it. So, Pennsylvania, that is the choice in this election. It's not just about policies that are on the ballot. It is about values, and it is about character. So whether this election is making you feel excited or scared or hopeful or frustrated or anything in between, do not just sit back and hope for the best. Get off your couch and vote. Put down your phone and vote. Grab your friends and family and vote. Vote for Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States. Vote for Tim Walz as the next vice president of the United States. Vote for Bob Casey and this whole incredible Pennsylvania Democratic ticket. Help your friends and family members and neighbors and coworkers do the same, because if enough of us make our voices heard, we will leave no doubt about the election outcome. We'll leave no doubt about who we are and what America stands for. And together we'll keep building a country that's more fair and more equal and more just and more free. That is our task. That is our responsibility. Let's go do it. Thank you, Pittsburgh. Thank you, Pennsylvania. Let's go vote.
All right, y'all. So what did y'all get out of that? What we got to go vote for again? Let's go back and listen to some of the stuff he said.
RC.
Then I'm going to comment on it. All right?
Or diapers. I remember buying diapers. I remember the first time I went in the store right after Malia was born. I was like, what? That's how much diapers cost? I remember changing diapers.
What did he mean by that?
You think Donald Trump ever changed a diaper? Yeah. That is not what real strength is. It never has been.
Okay, now, I'm going to comment on that diaper thing. I remember growing up, seeing my mama them going to the store, scraping up pennies and nickels together to get me and my little brother them diapers and stuff. And my mama told me diapers was a lot of money for them back then. And when you look at right now, it's hard for you to spare $60 for diaper. You gotta fight in between paying your rent. You gotta fight in between paying lights, and some people gotta fight in between paying water and gas. So how you gonna buy diapers? All right. Now he said that he looked in the store and said what when he looked at diapers. So what I can't understand is how if he say that he uh had a problem with the prices, I suppose he's saying before he became president, but got all this real estate and all this stuff. However, he got his money, author, being sent out to speak and all these things. How did he pay for his diapers? Did he forget how it feel to be in poverty? Because family something ain't adding up, you know. And that right there, that's Barack Obama's net worth. It's estimated to be around 7 million. The wealth comes from a combination of his presidential salary, book deals, speaking engagements, and lucrative production deals. All right. And when it says worth, and it says uh, deals, he Barack Obama got deals with, and that's the part that I couldn't put with Netflix. So when you he got to deal with Netflix, which means he got a series and stuff. I don't know if it was that movie called Barry. And then his spouse, which is his rib, has Michelle Obama's career as a lawyer. You know how much lawyers. What used to be the main thing that we wanted to do when we was little, when we said I want to make a living for myself. We wanted to be doctors or lawyers, right? And some of us want to write books. Some of us want to write movie scripts. All different type of stuff. Be mechanics. Also contributes to their combined network. So it contributes to their combined network right there. So Barack Obama, 770 million. All right. And then when you look at Vice President Kamala Harris, so when he say Donald Trump, we not talking about trying to get day money. We not trying to get Kamala Harris money. I don't know about nobody else. We're not trying to get Donald Trump money. We want our own, you know. But it seemed like it don't seem like I was writing out a bio yesterday, and I noticed that when you write out bios, people actually deal in the past, and they also talk about the present issue as if it is a non-issue. The only thing that's issued is probably half apologies. All right, let me show y'all something else right here. Now, they say that this right here is Donald Trump's net worth. And we're not talking about fixing up Donald Trump, uh, fixing up his stuff, or fixing up Kamala Harris money, or none of that. We're talking about if we are going to be serious about this, fixing our stuff. We want our stuff to be lined up. And I know that a lot of these people already know this. They already know. But what they like to do is continue on. It's almost like a tradition, just like when we march. You know, it's a tradition for us to every year complain about our situation, for them to come out and say, let's vote for a change. and the next person get us out of the office, it's going to be the same thing all over again. Nothing will change but the time and the seasons. And the only thing we're going to be doing is sitting up complaining about our living situation. And we can get online and talk about it, or they can go on television getting paid good money on with good shows and stuff while everybody else is suffering listening to it out of a custom. Just like when you put on your marching shoes, some of us probably got shoes for marching. If something happened to somebody in the community, we're going to put on our marching shoes, or we're going to get up and start marching down the road, singing the change going to come. We know all of the hymns. We got all of the songs. And when we read inside the Bible, the children of Yasharal marched around a mountain. Well, marched around that mountain, but what I'm saying, they marched in the desert for 40 years, and they didn't enter into the promised land. It was a custom for them, for us to march around the mountain complaining about our situation. And the solution was for us to seek for Yahweh. But many of us ignore the solution as custom, ignore the commandments as a custom, keeping the commandments of the wilderness wherever we at, keeping living like vagabonds, walking around like Cain in the wilderness, singing "We shall overcome," begging and praying to the next president, praying that we have another ruler over us, like our ancestors did in Africa, begging and praying for another ruler. That's all that we are doing. All we are doing is complaining about the situation. We're not doing anything to try to eradicate it. We're looking for another man to do what only Yah can do. And we wonder why we're going through the same thing without any change. One thing that I learned from my grandfather and them, they said, don't ever, he said, if you fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. All right, Shalom, B Sparrow. And that's all we doing. Now this right here, this is Donald Trump network. As of October 2024, Donald Trump network is estimated to be around 6.6 billion. How many of us got that type of money in our account? None of us. So it's almost like they say it's a double edge. All these rich people talking to the poorest people on the planet about going out there and voting for them. We've been voting for these people for 500 years, family. I mean, well, not 500, because when we was first brought over here, we wasn't voting for nobody. We was out there on a plantation, and it ain't been no change. In the 1960s, they allowed us to vote again. I believe there was a time when we had our own parties and stuff, and they destroyed that. This place is not a place that we should be at looking for hope and change. We should, even in the Bible, when our ancestors was in Kemet being oppressed, building up stuff, building up the monuments that that historians credit to aliens, but they don't credit that White House to aliens. Our ancestors built that. They also built up that obelisk over there in Washington D.C. They know what they doing on the back of the dollar. Who was that? Who built Who put a pyramid on the back of the dollar? We are in Kemet again. We are in Mosrium again, but this time we came by ships. Last time we walked into Kemet. Last time we walked into Mosrium, into captivity. This time we went into Kemet on slave ships. Donald Trump net worth is 6.6 billion according to Forbes. Bloomberg estimate is slightly higher at 7.07. His wealth primarily comes from real estate. Okay. Donald Trump net worth, they say, come from real estate. And they said that he wouldn't let nobody live in. Well, it's a lot of apartment complexes that don't let Negroes stay there. You know, they call it the unfair housing crisis. What people been complaining about year after year without a change. So my question to our people is, are we gonna fall for this bewitchment again? Or are we gonna be wise stewards of the Basara and love our family, keep the commandments, and return back to his way? Let me let Obama speak some more, and then I'm finna speak on what he said again. I'm gonna cover. I'm going back to the beginning because he said some stuff at the beginning that I want to address. But listen,
It is good. It is good to be back in Pennsylvania. It is good to be back in Pittsburgh. There are a lot of Americans who are still struggling out there. They're still striving to make life better for themselves.
can y'all imagine? He said it is good to be back. How many years is it gonna take? Look, family. Now, someone said it's been 80 years. So in 1950s to the 1960s, they was marching, begging for rights. What rights have we gotten ever since? There have been many leaders assassinated. We know the names. We know some of the names. It's been all these years. Why haven't we been restored back into our land? Do we even consider it in our mind? Does it even pass our mind? Do it pass our mind, family? These are some of the things that we need to actually be thinking about, fam. Why we not in our own country? Why are we still in the lands of our captivity? And why was we even sold? Has anybody has any well, I know a lot of us have, but has anybody considered why we were sold? Are we content with our oppression? Do we love oppression?
For their families and for their kids. And let's face it, as a country, we've been through a lot these last few years.
I don't know if I want to say nothing there. That's why I be asking y'all to come up here because it's some things I feel it in my heart, but the words don't come out like I want it to come out. I'm gonna let them speak some more.
We had a historic pandemic wreaking havoc on communities and businesses. Disruptions from the pandemic then caused prices to spike, and that put a strain on family budgets. And in many ways, it's felt like the aspirations of working people have taken a back seat to the priorities of the rich and the powerful. So
The rich and the powerful. Come on, Mosh Picard. Let's think about this. He said the rich and the powerful. It's him talking. He said the rich and the powerful. Come on, fam. He said the rich and the powerful. Mm, 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 mm. Let's let him finish
Get it.
his
Why
point.
people are looking to shake things up. I mean, I am the hopey changey guy. So so I understand people feeling frustrated and feeling we can do better. What I cannot understand is why anybody would think that Donald Trump.
There it go. What leader points at another man instead of taking responsibility as a man, as a leader? What mother that had children said, well, I can breastfeed my baby, but Susan May across the road yonder don't want to breastfeed her baby. See, look at Susan May. Susan May not breastfeed her baby. Susan May don't change the diaper. All the while the children's diapers is still not changed. All the while, you know, the baby crib haven't been washed. Nothing has been done. All the while the dog done boo boo all across the house or all across the yard. Nobody went out there and got up to poop out of the yard. All the while she looking around at Susan May house saying, but Susan May got trash in her yard. She got poop diapers everywhere. Susan May don't change her baby diaper, baby. The baby crying in the crib, saying, wham, 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 my diaper nasty. But all the while, everybody just focusing on Susan May house. That's what they doing. So what I'm saying is that a leader, like if I go to a church and I say, okay, I'm going asking this pastor for prayer. The pastor say, I'm never available. So he called the deacons to do it. The deacons is never available. Then the other church say, what he say, well, the other church over there don't come out to see nobody. You know, they deacons, you know, they might be doing something on the side inside of that church over there, taking the eyes off of you to put it on somebody else. That's not that's not how my daddy and them told me what a man's supposed to be or a leader's supposed to be. That's not how I saw my mom doing. Even though the government was doing all they can to keep us in a position that we was in, I remember mama and daddy struggling and scraining, coming together and scraping their pennies and nickels together and putting stuff together so that they could get things done. When have y'all ever, and I'm asking y'all, can you look around at your neighbors and say, well, my neighbor them ain't trying, so why I got to try? Or the store over there ain't mopping they floor, so why I got to mop the store over here floor? That's how they acting. But they don't act like that with their money. They very responsible on keeping their money in their account. They talking to they what how can I put this? You know how you talk to little children about things that they don't understand, and you say to the little child, say, you know what? Uh Mommy and daddy had you by a stork flying and putting the baby on the top of the roof. And a lot of children are by that. You know what I'm saying? They children in that. That's all Obama and them is doing. All they doing is sitting up telling our people, go ahead. Hmm? Hold on for 1 minute, fam.
Ezekiel 38. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back, and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are.
I look, Val came back in and told me something, and she right. I come on here all the time. I don't beg nobody for no money. I don't come on here and do all the stuff that other people do. I try to go on other people's platforms and support them and show them love. And when I go live, I don't have hardly no support. But I'm going to continue with this and put this video up here. But I want to let whoever hear this know that that ain't right. And what I'm going to start doing is, like, it seems like a lot of people, when I come, they don't like to speak. And I try to speak to everybody when I go on my lives. I try to always sit down and pray about things that I could come on here and talk to y'all about. And I noticed that a lot of people, even when I come on side of their live, they don't like to speak. And if you're not that person, I'm not talking to you. But even in that, I try to make my time to come over. And I also am a content creator. I come on here faithfully. I be sick sometimes. I don't be feeling good. And I still come on here and try to show people that they need to continue, because I know how I feel, because I feel the same way right now. There are some people that been on Facebook and on YouTube and Instagram and all these different places. They've been doing all they can to get content out. And I go over there to them to try to show them some love. I don't ask them to give me no money. I've offered people money. And the brother that helped me out back then, when no producer ain't want to help me, he told me I ain't gonna take your money. I'm not gonna take your money. He said when he get the chance, he gonna come over here. And I'm not gonna disclose his name because y'all will know him when y'all see him. But what I'm talking about is the people that I've been laboring and pouring out my soul to can't even come over and press a like on my videos. They see me live, they come in and out, jump out, they don't even press like. They act like ain't nothing was said. I noticed that even on Facebook, when I went on there, I used to go on Facebook and go live, and somebody would come behind me with the same topic that I had. They wouldn't even give me any credits for nothing that I ever did. And I don't come on here asking for money. And these people go on to ask people for cash out. I see the very people in there giving them cash out. I don't even ask for that. All I ask for is for a like. And a lot of people can't even do that. If you know that this right here don't fit you, do not take this and make this about you. Because when I was trying to rebuke somebody, and when I was trying to rebuke, I had 1,000 and something people following me on Facebook, and I can't even get 20 of them to come over here and support anything that I got going on. But they're seeing me a friend request, and then when I say something about it, everybody else that done being talked about feel like I'm maybe talking about them. So I'm going, like I told you, I'm going to finish what I'm doing. But I don't like this right here. And that's why I take breaks. So if you feel like that I miss your channel and this and that and the other, it ain't on purpose. It's because I'm sick and tired of people ignoring me when I come on here. And when they go live, I try to make my way around. I follow thousands of people. and I try my best to make my rounds around, even go on Facebook and like a couple of people's stuff, and people can't even come by and say hey. But when you go inside of their live, they expect for you to come inside their live. That's why I put this open topic, because I don't want to be bound by one. When I go inside of their live, I try to make it my asserted effort to say hey, even if they act like they better than me. I still try to go in there and say hey to them. It be people in their lives, they have thousands of views. That don't stop me. If I'm in your live and I'm getting something from you, I can at least come in and say hey or press the like button. When I see people trying to do stuff that I see that can help and benefit our people, I'm not finna sit there and pretend like what they saying is not being said and then go and speak on it on my broadcast and pretend like they ain't did nothing. But anyway, let me finish letting him speak. Thank you, Val, for coming and telling me what you felt about that. All right, I'm finna let them finish speaking. And thank you again, Sister B Sparrow, Sister Naomi, Brother Moshe, the commentator, Art Cake Judah, Monster Moshe, Sister Private C is going through something right now, so she ain't over here like she would be. Sister Lovely Lady, thank you again for what you did for my wife the other night. I appreciate you, sister. And I pray that one day me and my wife will be able to return the favor to you and do something nice for you, because we appreciate that. And Sister Private C didn't have to do what she did. Going through all of the stuff that she's going through with, Sister Private C did something nice for me and my family. And I'm not going to disclose what she did, but she did something nice. And I want to give her flowers while she can receive it, if she ever hear this message. All right, so I'm going to let him speak on. And thank you for the people that share my lives. Y'all know y'all names. If I say it all, I'd be here a whole 30 minutes. But thank you for the ones that come and support. All right, I'm finna go ahead and let Barack Obama finish his lecture on our people that it seemed like they don't think that we should be able to say nothing about.
We'll shake things up in a way that is good for you, Pennsylvania. I don't understand that. Because there is absolutely no evidence that this man thinks about anybody but himself.
Do you see how a leader is supposed to take accountability? A leader is not supposed to ditch off his accountability on another leader. If Donald Trump don't take accountability, if Kamala Harris don't take accountability, and if he don't take accountability, what can he say about Donald Trump? What can he say about Kamala Harris? He can't say nothing. The only thing that he could do is talk about how bad the other party is. All the other party could do is sit there and talk about how bad that other party is. That's all our people is expected to do, is sit down and complain about our situation, listening to these millionaires and billionaires tell us what we need, when all we got to do is read the side of our Bible, and we will see everything what the Father said that we need as a people in order to get by. How in the world can we trust these people over what the Father said inside the Bible? Some things just don't sit well with me, and it don't make no sense to me. I'ma let a Bible verse play, cause I'm tired of listening to Barack Obama sit up and make excuses for Kamala Harris why she can't be a leader. And we really supposed to be seeking for y'all. We not supposed to be waiting on for them to do what y'all said that he'll do for us. Let me go ahead and play the Bible.
Micah 2. Woe to them that devise iniquity, and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields, and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So
they covet fields, and they covet houses, and they take them by violence. Y'all see that? They covet people's countries. They covet people's families, and they take them away by violence.
And houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage.
Therefore, so they oppress a man and his house, even his heritage. Your heritage is your country. Your heritage is your children. Your heritage is Allahayim. And if you got to give up your heritage for one of these people, it don't matter if it was now, no matter who running for president, it don't matter if Obama was able to come back and run another time. It don't matter who these people is. You're not supposed to put these people over y'all. What has gotten inside of the minds of our people that we trust in man over Yah?
Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily.
So what are we supposed to be looking forward to? Listen at this, family.
Revelation 20. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that he must be loosed a little season. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus, and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth.
Here go another verse.
Jude, the servant of Jesus Christ, and brother of James, to them that are sanctified by God the Father, and preserved in Jesus Christ, and called. Mercy unto you, and peace, and love be multiplied. Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you, and exhort you that ye should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints. For there are certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained to this condemnation, ungodly men, turning the grace of our God into lasciviousness, and denying the only Lord God, and our Lord Jesus Christ. I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believed not, and the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah, and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication, and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Likewise also these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise dominion, and speak evil of dignities. Yet Michael the archangel, when contending with the devil he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, The Lord rebuke thee. But these speak evil of those things which they know not. But what they know naturally, as brute beasts. In those things they corrupt themselves. Woe unto them! For they have gone in the way of Cain, and ran greedily after the error of Balaam for reward, and perished in the gainsaying of Kor. These are spots in your feasts of charity, when they feast with you, feeding themselves without fear. Cloud.
What is the error of Balaam? Balaam wanted to curse Israel, and the only way that Balaam could curse Israel, the only way that Balaam could curse Israel is Balaam had to get Israel to transgress against the commandments of Yahweh. Now, I'm going to read about oppressor, and let us see what an oppressor is. We already know, but I'm going to read it just because this is what I need to read. Oppressor, a noun. As in tyrant, a person who uses power or authority in a cruel, unjust, or harmful way. The dictator had scarcely been overthrown when the former oppressed suddenly abandoned their democratic ideals and became the oppressors. Synonyms of oppression, of oppressor: tyrant, dictator, pharaoh. All right, let me wait for this to stop crickling, and I'll be right. Bring it right back. Matter of fact, I can read it for y'all. I don't have to have it on the screen because it's gonna keep crickling and so on. But it's a pharaoh. It is a noun, as in dictator, a person who uses power. It's the same thing. Power or authority in a cruel, unjust, or harmful way, like some pharaoh of third world country, more interest in building a monument to himself than in creating a future for his people. Pharaoh is the same thing as oppressor. Pharaoh, oppressor, same word, same meaning. You shall go again into bondage. I'm gonna look up Caesar. You know how you seize? A person who uses power, authority in a cruel, unjust, or harmful way. Caesar. His name match his character. Caesar. What is a tyrant? A tyrant, a person who uses power or authority in a cruel, unjust, or harmful way. The people universally feared the tyrant, who was notorious for his frequent use of torture. What is a dictator? A person who uses power or authority in a cruel, unjust, or harmful way. A dictator had a fierce stranglehold on the country, keeping its people in poverty and ignorance. So y'all see that? So y'all see what's going on? Now, what is a king? What is a king? A person of rank, power, or influence in a particular field. Hamashiach is the prophesied king who came, died on the tree by lynching, because he was hung on a tree by lynching, and he rose again on the third day as was prophesied. 70 years later, the temple was destroyed. Hundreds of years after that, Israel was transported to the four corners of the earth, fulfilling more of his words on slave ships. All right. And I'm going to look up one more. Monarch. One who rules over people with a sole supreme and usually hereditary authority. The ruling monarch of Britain at the time of Queen Elizabeth the first. All right, as a ruler. So now let me go ahead and go to the prophecy of the scattering of the flock of Israel. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the prophecy of the scattering of the flock. And after that, I'm finna get on up out of here. And I got inspired when I listened to my brother I got inspired to talk while the beat was playing at the beginning by listening to Brother Freezy. He reminded me so much of what we used to do in Polk County. And that's what made me want to do some Polk County stuff and talk over the beat. That was very inspiring, bro. And y'all make sure y'all go and check out Brother Freezy's page when y'all get the time. All right. So let me go ahead and
Deuteronomy 28.
matter of fact, let me pause this and I will read it. I'll read it for you instead of letting it play like that. So let me go down here to verse. I'll read it myself. All right. So let me turn on something on the background to keep this thing live. All right. The one person that's watching, I appreciate you. We appreciate you for watching. All right. So let me go ahead and read this, fam. Let me take off this thing so that the mic won't be doing what it was doing yesterday. All right. Let me take off the reduced background noise. K. Judah told me he always be there, so there's a high chance that that's K. Judah or Brother Moshe, one of them. But either way, I know that my brothers and sisters that come here and support me faithfully is going to be here when I need them the most. But sometimes you gotta walk alone. I get that. Let me go to read this right here. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the Yahweh shall bring a nation against you from far, from the end of the earth. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. From the end of the earth, as swift as an eagle that flieth, a nation whose tongue you shall not understand. So the language that we speak is not our native tongue. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. He shall eat up the fruit of your cattle, and the fruit of your land, and the fruit of your land, and the fruit of your land, until you be destroyed, which also shall not leave you neither corn nor wine, or oil, or the increase of your kind, that's some kind of cattle, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed you. And he shall besiege you in all your gates, until your high and fenced walls come down, wherein you trustest, throughout all your land. And he shall besiege you in all your gates throughout all your land, which Yahweh your Elohim have given you. That's the prophecy that Malachi, the Morishite, had told us that was going to happen, that they was going to take our land, name, and everything. And you shall eat the fruit of your own body, and the flesh of your sons and of your daughters, which Yahweh your Elohim giveth you, in the siege, in the greatness, wherein your enemies shall disgrace you, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, let me put a time mark, and very delicate, shall be evil towards his brother, towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. So shall he not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he have nothing left him in the siege, in the greatness wherein thine enemies shall disgrace you in all your gates. The tender and the delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter, and towards her young one that cometh out up between her feet. That's how our sister used to give birth back in the day, between your feet. So I guess that means the baby that she get from another woman, which means that's a woman had a baby for her. That's what that means when a woman give birth between her feet. So, and towards her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and towards her children which she shall bear. So from the child that somebody can bear for her, and also for the children that she shall bear. For she shall eat them for one of all things, secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall disgrace you in all your gates. They ate their babies when the land was seized, and they also was eating I believe that in biblical court, it was eating that also on the ship. They was eating the baby on the ship. If you, because of they was starving out there, and they studies have shown that they was out there sometimes for 12 months at a time. So they had to eat something, and the slave master and them, the preacher and them would eat first, and they would get the scraps, the leftover, and if it wasn't nothing really too much to feed, the slave died, they threw them outside the ship and they died. And the sharks still travel that pathway that our ancestors was trafficked for years. I mean, years upon years. So from past the ancient days all the way up to now, because we would think that the 1500s and the 1500s, the 1700s, the 1800s, and on up, the sharks got used to that path, just like we used to marching around the White House every year. If you would not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that you may fear this glorious and fearful name, Yahweh your Elohim, then Yahweh will make your plagues wonderful, and the plagues of your seed even great plagues, and long continuance, and sore sickness and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon you all the diseases of Masrium, all the diseases of your slavery, which you was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto you. Also, every sickness. Now they had just came out of bondage, out of slavery. You know that the Africans called the land Kemet, but our people called it Masrium because it was a house of bondage for us. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will Yahweh bring upon you until you be destroyed. And you shall be left few in number, whereas you were as the stars of Shemayim for multitude. You were as the stars in the heaven. That's the promise of Abraham. For multitude, because you was not obey the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, it shall come to pass. This ain't got nothing to do with no religion. This got something to do with us breaking the law of our king. And it shall come to pass that as Yahweh rejoice over you to do you good and to multiply you, so that Yahweh will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to nothing. And you shall be plucked off from off the land, whether you go to possess it. And Yahweh shall scatter you among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there you shall serve other Elohim, which neither you nor your fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shall you find no ease, neither shall the sole of your foot have rest. But Yahweh shall give you there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. And your life shall hang in doubt before you, and you shall fear day and night, and you shall have no assurance of your life. In the morning you shall say, Would Elohim it were evening, and at evening you will say, Would Elohim it were morning. It ain't no good night, no good morning. In your heart, the laws of these lands the oppression, for the fear of your heart, and you will go mad according to the prophecy. Uh, Mental illness, for the fear of your heart, wherewith you shall fear, and for the sight of your eyes, which you shall see. And the word for see also means understand. And Yahweh shall bring you into Masrium again with ships. And Yahweh shall bring you into Masrium again with ships. The first time they traveled to Masrium, to bondage on foot and on cattle, with money, with resources. In the Acharayath Hayamam, all their possessions was taken, even their land and their inheritance and their house. They discontinued from their heritage according to the prophet Jeremiah. And Yahweh shall bring you into bondage again with ships, into slavery again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto you, you shall not see it no more again. And there, see, he said he destroyed the bondage of Kemet forever. Now in the Acharayath, in the latter days, in the Acharayath Hayawam, you are going to be shipped across the four corners of the earth on slave ships. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemy. So after you get there, you shall be sold unto your enemy on auction box, and no man shall redeem you. That's what that means. A bondman buy you out of captivity. You read that about buying a slave out of captivity in the book of Ruth, when it was speaking about the ancestors of Yahushua, Boaz and Ruth. All right. Thou shalt see it no more again. That is the father of Dawad. All right. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Now I'm going to go to Dabarayam chapter 31 to show y'all that this right here was going to happen in the last day. And then I'm going to Luke again, because our people need to hear this right here. And Masha went. This is Dabarayam, Deuteronomy chapter 31 verse 1. And Masha went and spake these words unto all Yasharal, and he said unto them, I am 120 years old this day, and I can no more go out and come in. Also Yahweh hath said unto me, you shall not go over this Jordan. Yahweh Yo Alahayim, Yahweh Alawahayim will go over before you and will destroy these nations from before you, and you shall possess them as slaves, and Yahweh shall go over before you. That's Joshua, shall go over before you as Yahweh hath said. And Yahweh shall do unto them as he did unto Sihon and unto Og, king of the Amorites, and unto the land of them which he destroyed. And Yahweh shall give them up before your face, that ye may do unto them according to all the commandments which I command you. Be strong and of good courage, fear not, nor be afraid of them. For Yahweh your Alahayim it is that doeth go with you and will not fail. So we see that this is a prophecy of them taking back the land that Yahweh had given unto them as a heritage and as a promise before those people went inside of there and stole it. And Masha called unto Yahweh and said unto him, in the sight of all Yasharal, be strong and of good courage, for thou must go with this people unto the land which Yahweh hath sworn unto their fathers. See, unto the land which Yahweh has sworn unto their fathers to give them. So our people was landless, but it was other people that got other countries living inside of our land like they're doing now today. And you shall cause them to inherit it. Now Yahweh said that he's going to come back and he's going to deal with them himself. And Masha wrote this law and delivered it unto the priests, the Kohan, the sons of Lawai, which bore the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, the promise of Yahweh, the marriage covenant, and unto all the elders of Yasharal. And Masha commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, in the solemnity of the year of release, in the Feast of Tabernacles, when Yasharal is come to appear before Yahweh, Yo Alahayim, in the place which he shall choose, and shall read this law before all Yasharal in their hearing. Gather the people together, men and women, Ayash wa Asha, and children, Banayam, and thy strangers that is within thy gates, that they may hear, and that they shall learn, and fear Yahweh your Elohim, and observe to do all the words of this law. All the words of this law. Remember that. Because this is something that's reading right here inside of this very same book that we need to pay attention to. All the words of this law. That their children which have not known anything may hear and learn to fear Yahweh your Elohim. Some people say it's too hard to understand this, so they broke down the preachers and the teachers, and we learn indoctrination. But let me go ahead and read here. And learn to fear Yahweh. You got to learn to fear Yahweh your Elohim. As long as you live in the land, whether you go over to Yarden to possess it. Why? And some people say, well, that means that that's only when you got to live in the land. You got to keep all the law, statute, and commandment. Well, we're scattered because we did not keep all the law, statute, and commandment. And if you want to stay scattered and stay oppressed and stay under the foot of Pharaoh, then you will not turn to Yah. He said, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, turn away from their wicked ways and seek my face, then I will hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. Is the Yahweh's hand slack that he cannot reach? Is Yahweh's eyes blind that he can't see? Is his ears deep that he can't hear? But it's our transgression that have divided us from our Elohim. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, behold, the days approach that you must die. Call Yahweh Shai, and I was paraphrasing, and present yourselves in the tabernacle of the congregation, that I may give him a charge. And Moshe and Yahweh Shai went and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation, and Yahweh appeared in the tabernacle in the pillar of a cloud, and the pillar of a cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, behold, you shall sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up and go a whoring after other Elohim and of the strangers of the land. And this is what our people did, and this is what we still do today, whether they go to be among them, and will forsake me and break my covenant which I have made with them. So we doing this in captivity. They did that after they took over the land. Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day. In that day, Yahweh's anger was kindled against them, and I will forsake them. See, Yahweh will forsake you, and I will hide my face from them. See, Yahweh will hide his face from you. How is it that people think that because they say they are Christos, or they are whatever kind of religion that they say they claim, that Yahweh will give more respect to them over his people? If Yahweh dealt with his people, just know of a surety he gonna deal with them one day. But let me go ahead and read. Face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, are not these evils come upon us because our Elohim is not among us? And this is what our people started saying in these last days. And I will surely hide my face in that day for all the evils which they have wrought, in that which they are turned unto other Elohim. Now therefore write ye this song for you, and teach it to your children of Yasharal. Put it in their mouth, that this song may be a witness for me against the children of Yasharal. For when I shall have brought them into the land which I swear unto their fathers, and that floweth with milk and honey, that they shall have eaten and filled themselves and waxen fat, then will they turn unto other Elohim and serve them, and provoke me, and break my covenant, break my oath and promise to them, and their promise to me. They will break their end of the oath. For when I shall have brought them, and then let's go to verse 21, and it shall come to pass, when many evils and troubles are befallen them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness, for it shall not be forgotten out of their mouth, of their seed, of their descendants. You can look back and say, those are my ancestors. They were looking forward at you as their descendants, their seed. For I know their imagination which they go about, even now, before I have brought them into the land which I swear, where I brought them to the kingdom which I swear. Masha therefore wrote this song the same day and taught it the children of Yasharal. He gave Yahushua the son of Nun a charge and said, Be strong and of good courage, for you shall bring the children of Yasharal into the land which I swear unto them, and I will be with them. See, if you say your law was done away with, then you countryless, because also according to the law you are supposed to inherit a country if you keep the commandments of Yahweh. Yahweh did not come to die to bring wickedness and lawlessness. He came to die because we transgress against his law, statute, and commandments. And it came to pass when Masha had made an end of writing the words of this Torah in a book until they were finished, that Masha commanded the Levites which bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, saying, Take this book of the law and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, your Elohim, that it may be there for a witness against thee. For I know that thou rebellion and stiff neck, behold, while I am yet alive with you this day, you have been rebellious against Yahweh, and have much more after my death. See that? Gather unto me all the elders of your tribes. That's not done away with. And your officers. That's not done away with. That I may speak these words in their ears. That's not done away with. But some of us can't hear. We got ears when we can't hear. We hear. We got eyes and we can't see. And call Shamayam and to record against them. For I know that after my death, and some of us feel this in our heart, for I know that after my death, you will utterly corrupt yourselves and turn aside from the way which I commanded you. And evil will befall you in the last days. And evil will befall you in the last days. This is Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 29, telling you about the last days. So is the last days done away with? Because the prophet was telling you about the last day. Hamashiach said, Masha spoke about me, and he will accuse you for rejecting me. Will befall you in the last days, the last days, the last days, the last days, because you will do evil in the sight of Yahweh. What is the last days? The last days is after Hamashiach come, die on a tree, raise again the third day. And then 70 AD came, the temple was destroyed. That's the last days. And then you were scattered on slave ships, as the prophecy said. That's the last days. Hamashiach prophesied about the scattering of Judah in the last days. Yasharal was already scattered before the last days, because you will do evil in the last days, meaning the last days of the European ruling over you. The last days is the last days of the wicked. All right? And when you in your gray head years, Yasharal, when you is in your gray head years, when your leaf is brown and withering, that means you is at the point of death. All right? Our leaf is brown. Yahushua has to come back and resurrect Yasharal and bring them back into their estate, because you will do evil in the sight of Yahweh. So why did he scatter us in the last days? Why did this great evil befall us in the last days, such as not has been done since the beginning of the earth, that has happened unto you, Yasharal? This great evil that has not happened to anybody but Yasharal like unto you, this terror that you will face from Yahweh, will befall you in the last days. He destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. What more? He will punish Yasharal. Will befall you in the last days. because you will do evil in the sight of Yahweh. Evil is still evil and good is still good. Murder is still murder and love is still love. And they don't mix themselves together. They are what they are of Yahweh, to provoke him to anger through the work of your hands. And Masha spake in the ears of the congregation of Yasharal the words of this song until they were ended. Now Masha obeyed Yahweh in his house and gave us the words of Yahweh. And a man come along and bewitch us and tell us that we ain't got to obey Yah, and we scattered because we disobey Yah. We scattered because we hope in man. We scattered because we put our trust in them, and we think that Yahweh is going to allow us to escape without repentance. We think that Yahweh is going to allow us to do whatever we want to do and don't have nobody to give an account to. Go ahead and turn it to Luke chapter 21. It's the same verse, but it's still the truth. Yahweh Shah is the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father except by him. All right. And Yahweh Shah said, and this is verse 4. Let's go to verse 3. And he said, of a truth I say unto you, that this poor widow have cast in more than they all. This is Luke chapter 21, beginning at verse 3. Now let's go to verse 4. For all these have of their abundance cast in unto the offering of Allahim. But she of her penury have cast in all the living that she had. Now I'm going to get to the place where I want to be, and I'm going to put a time mark right here. And as some spake of the temple, how it was adorned with goodly stones and gifts, he said, as for these things which ye behold, the days will come, in the which there shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign shall there be when these things shall come to pass? And he said, Take heed, ye be not deceived. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Messiah, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. For these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Then said he unto them, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from Shemayim. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you. Then when they lay their hands on the apostles and them, and persecute you, and deliver you up to the synagogues, and take into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake, for my legacy's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what you shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. Yahweh gave the apostles, he gave Sha'awal in them words in their mouth. And ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinfolk and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death. We see that James and all of them being beheaded and lynched on trees and all these things. And you shall be hated of all Adam for my name's sake. Pastor Kelly was showing with the Shakespeare play, how the Judeans were hated, how they were so hated that they were calling them black and ugly. They were hated. They was saying the stinkness of the Jews and all these things, the Judeans. And you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but they shall not, and shall not an hair of your head perish. In your patience possess ye your souls. And when you shall see Yerushalayim compassed with armies. So the Yahudim were always hated. They were hated. So do we think that the hatred disappeared after they did a hateful thing by destroying the temple? Do we think that it disappeared and it dispensated into the air, into the atmosphere, and flowers just flooded out inside of their hearts towards Yasharal? And when you shall see Yerushalayim compassed with armies, with militaries, then know that the desolation thereof is not. And let them which are in Yahweh flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Why is Yahweh doing vengeance? May his blood be upon our head. That's what they said. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, that breastfeed. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword. Then they're going to go through this war. They're going to fall by the edge of the sword, by war, and shall be led away captive. So after Yasharal, after the temple is destroyed, there's going to come a great distress. All right, there's going to come a great distress. And they shall fall by the edge of sword. So then they're going to go through a war, Yasharal. It's going to go through a war. The one that had to leave out of the land after the temple is destroyed, it shall be led away captive into all nations. There you go, the prophecy of Dabarayam, chapter 28, spoken by the words of Yahweh Shai. And if anybody inside of church say that this right here is not scripture, is not Torah, what I'm teaching, that person does not understand what they speak. Yahweh Shai is supposed to be their savior. Why are they against his words? He said inside the prophets, let no man call my words Corbin. And they shall fall by the edge of, they're going to fall by war. Yasharal fell by war. And shall be led away captive into all nations. So they took us as captives, war captives, and we were taken into all nations. And then after that, and then Yerushalayim is trodden down by the Gentiles, by the Goyim, the Goyan, until the time of the Goyan be fulfilled. So the Goyan, the Goyim, the Gentiles, is trotting down the people of Yerushalayim, trotting down the kingdom of Yerushalayim until their time is fulfilled, because Yerushalayim is a desolate wilderness, mashpakah. And there shall be signs in the sun, the shamash, and signs in the moon, and signs in the stars, and the arats in the earth, and the arats, distress of arats, and the earth, distress of arats, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's heart failing them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the arats. For the powers of Shemayim shall be shaken. The authority of the heaven shall be shaken. The authority of the heavens shall be shaken. The all Shemayim shall be shaken. And then shall they see Ban Adam, Son of Man, coming in a cloud with power and great glory. Al-Kabad, great glory. And these things begin to come to pass. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption for your redemption. Because you remember, you were scattered into every nation as captives. And Yahushua said, through the prophet Masha, and the words that Yahushua spoke to Masha was given by the Father, because no man has heard the Father's voice at any time. So Yahushua spoke to Masha and told Masha how you was going to be redeemed. He said, and no Adam shall redeem you. Yahushua is going to redeem you. So why are we marching up on Washington? For your redemption draws nigh. Your Redeemer is going to come. It's close in that hand. And he spake to them. After you see the Shamash and all that go dark, you're going to see the sign of the Son of Man. Listen at the words of Allahayim. The Apostle Sha'awal said it's going to be in a moment, in a second, in the blink of an eye when Hamashiach come. You ain't going to have time to pack your undergarments. You ain't going to have time to pack your dress. You ain't going to have time to pack your hijab. You ain't going to have time to pack your shoes. You ain't going to have time to, if you got your zipper down, you ain't going to have time to pull it up. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up. So he say, now this is what I want you to do. When these things begin to come to pass, look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draws nigh. Your redemption is near. If you're not redeemed, and the whole earth is covered with babal, with confusion, and he spake to them a parable. Behold, the fig tree, because Yasharal eyes is blind only for a time, but their eyes is going to be open. Their understanding will be open, and they'll understand the prophecy of Daniel. Behold, the fig tree and all the trees, when they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own selves that summer is nigh at hand. So just like when we look at the trees and everything, we know it's getting ready to be summertime. We know when it's getting ready to be wintertime, right? So likewise, when you see these things come to pass, know you that the kingdom of Allahayim is nigh at hand. The Arat Salahayim is nigh and at hand. And what did he say yesterday? What I read to you out of Yeshaya, he said, behold, unto us a son is born, unto us a son is given. The government shall be upon his shoulders. His name shall be called Mighty Allah. Mighty Allah. So this is the kingdom of Allah coming, the kingdom of the Son. Allah Hayam, the kingdom of Allahayim, because the Son he moves and breathes through the power of Allahayim, and that's how we supposed to move and breathe. He said, I do nothing of myself. Everything that I do, the Father command me to do. Everything that I say, I speak what the Father command me to say. My words are not my own. My works are not my own, but my works and my words are the works and words of my Father, Allahayim, Bahashamayim, in heaven. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away. This generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. Shamayam wa Arats shall pass away. Heaven and earth shall pass away. Heaven and kingdom shall pass away. Our kingdom, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. Take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts, your mind, be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life. And so that they come upon you unawares. All right, Mashbaka? And he was telling them to be careful. He was warning the apostles in them to be careful. It's okay, sister. He was warning them to be careful and pay attention to what's going on. And we can also look at that word for us as well, because he said, I pray not for the world, I pray not for the Arats, but I pray for those whom you have given me out of the Arats. For thine they were, and them you gave to me. That's what Yahushua said. All right? So in Yasharal, he chose. And the nations got to cleave to Yasharal. They're not going to supersede his word. We can't supersede his word. The only thing that we can do is hope in Allahayim. We can't hope in ourselves. We can't hope in Barack Obama. We can't hope in Kamala Harris. We can't hope in Donald Trump. We can't hope in whatever candidate they got up there. We supposed to be hoping in Yahushua. Don't take your eyes off of the prize. Don't take your eyes off of the real Redeemer. Your true Redeemer is Yahushua. They cannot redeem you. They cannot restore you. Yahushua is your Redeemer. Yahushua is your restorer. They cannot raise up the dead of your people from the tombs. They cannot raise up the dead of your people out of the oceans where they were eaten by sharks. They cannot raise up the dead of your people who were burnt alive inside of buildings. They cannot raise up the dead of your people who laid out there in the cemetery because they got lynched and murdered and killed, and some died natural death. They cannot raise up the dead of your people and restore your nation. They cannot raise up Abraham, and they cannot give you an eternal body and restore your kingdom as of old. They cannot restore your language unto you. They cannot give you back your heritage. They cannot heal an incurable wound that you have been hit with. Many of us don't even know who we are. Even though we know who we are, some of us are still battling in the inside of us, looking at all these mistranslations, all these new names that everybody got after 70 AD. Looking at all these new names, the new names of Ophir, the new names of Apar, the new names of your fathers and your mothers. You were treated like sheep, treated like animals, treated like cattle, shipped off to every nation on the earth, treated like some plaything for them inside of their beds, treated like some toy. But Yahushua is the only one that can restore you. They cannot redeem you. They can't buy you. They can't help you. Only thing they can do is give you idle promises. They cannot help you, Yasharal. You can go and vote. You can vote until your marching shoes break. And you got to go and get them sold in, or go and get a new pair of marching shoes with probably Elder Martin Luther King picture on one side and Elder Malcolm X on the other side, and call them kickwalkers. You cannot restore yourself. They cannot restore you. If your mother and father who love you dearly couldn't restore you, how can they restore you? And they got millions and billions of dollars, and see people during a hurricane get $750 one time. The only thing that you supposed to be praying for is Yahweh should sustain you wherever you go. Whether if you leave America and go to Africa, whether if you leave Africa and come to America, whether if the Israelites who were scattered in Libya leave Libya and go to Puerto Rico, or whether if they stay in Libya, they have to pray that Yahweh would keep them wherever they are. The whole earth is Yahweh's, and the fullness thereof. The whole world and they that dwell therein. All flesh belongeth unto Yahushua. That's why he was able to die for the sins of the propitiation of his people. All right? The other nations can't go and trust in some deity that they created during the time of the land of discovery, the time of discovery. They can't do that. Either they gonna cleave to Yasharal, or either they gonna cleave to the man-made Yahabashai, Jesus. Either they gonna cleave to that idol, or either they gonna cleave to Yahabashai. Either we gonna pray, or either we gonna walk down there and pray to the government. Either we gonna care about one another, either we gonna bear one another's burdens, or either we gonna try to bear a burden of imagination. The burden of imagination. Praying to Pharaoh, asking for how many years? We went past 40 years. So we can't talk about what our fathers did, and we read it in the Bible saying that they were wicked and complained against Yahweh, when we've been marching for 80 something years around the same situation, and we've been enslaved in these countries for all these centuries, and we think that we can go and beg Pharaoh for rights. Pharaoh can't save you. He can't redeem you. The only thing Pharaoh could do is give you some chump change. Pharaoh cannot save you. And they need to understand this. They know they can't save you. They know you've been struck with an incurable blow. So this is what we need to be putting our focus on. Not on the president, not on them, one of them. You see your brother and them sister outside hurting and going through stuff, go and pray for your brother and sister. Go and pray for your brother and sister. You ain't got to pray to them. You can pray for them. You ain't got to pray to Kamala. You ain't got to pray to Bill Clinton. You ain't got to pray to Bush. You could pray to Yahweh. You ain't got to pray to Joel Osteen Ministries. You could pray to Yahweh. And this is what I want to leave with y'all today. You know, I left the open panel for we could all come up and conversate and talk. But it looked like today the family just wanted to sit back and chill. And that's okay. But that's all I want to bring out today, fam. And I'm finna go ahead and leave with a small prayer. And I'm just gonna pray Yahweh's prayer, because I'm not trying to be a like the Pharisees in them. And I can easily slip into that, feeling proudful of myself because I prayed some powerful prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Abba, who in Shemayim, hallowed be thy name. Hallowed be your reputation. Hallowed be your reputation. Your will be done. Your will be done. On earth. On earth. On earth. On planet. On earth. On kingdom. Your will be done. On earth, as it is in Shemayim, as it is upon your throne, as it is in the heavens, as it is in heaven. Your word, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Feed us, Father. Only you can feed us. We need to trust in you like the birds trust in you. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation. Lead us not into temptation. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. But deliver us from evil. But deliver us from evil. Lead us not into temptation. The same prayer that Yahweh told Kiefer to pray. Lead us not into temptation. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. But save us, but redeem us, but help us, but deliver us from evil. Heavenly Father, for yours is the kingdom. For yours is the kingdom, not the world's. For yours is the kingdom, not the one that's trotting down Jerusalem until their time is fulfilled. For yours is the kingdom, not the Pharaoh. For yours is the kingdom. For yours is the kingdom. He give it to us. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the authority. Psalms chapter 9 verse 6. For yours is the kingdom and the power and the authority forever In Yahweh's name, Father Yah. Amen and amen. Sister, I hope you get well, and I hope all of us get well. I ain't been feeling well either, sister. My body been hurting because of arthritis or whatever you want to call it. The stress of life. But I pray that all of us be blessed. Shalom, Mashpaka. I hope you enjoy the outro. Shalom.
You know the words say, and they were saved by the skills of the river, unbound the cross. You see, we ain't gotta get our name in the book. We need to try to keep it in there. I can see hope in my eyes. Oh, now, praise Yah. My chest, so don't know how to stress. Walking down this road, broke the pass every test. I can't eat, y'all, I can't sleep, y'all. Save me from the water, cause I'm going in deep blessed. People keep talking, always deceiving. Trying to break it down, but you gotta keep believing. Ripped out the Bible, now they say they Peter Pan. Praying for my people, cause we all gotta stand. I wonder what's a lollipop that took my grandma and my uncle's side. It's a cold world, trying to bring the truth out. Get paid, took the check to be a sell out. Lying on the word, but it ain't no other way out. To my walk, gotta never give up. People across the world, everywhere, keep your eyes up. Press to the mark, yeah, man, and how you calling? Ain't come to see a man that'll live it when you're falling, guys.